Much shalom greetings to you all. Welcome back, everyone. It's almost Thanksgiving in Canada, and we all have so much to be thankful for. And we saw that last week as the books were closing. And it is also, of course, the holiday formerly known as, kind of like Prince, as Columbus Day. And I'm not sure if we're removing him as the discoverer of North America or not. Maybe we'll give the Vikings their due, although I'm sure those horned helmets caused plenty of havoc, and maybe we shouldn't be giving them their due either. Now, you've all been sealed in the book of life. Congratulations. You've been through the toughest day of all, the Day of Atonement, Yom Kippur. Now, I certainly hope everyone had an easy fast. I felt the love and magic of forgiveness wash over them. And during the services, I asked the congregation how many had people come to ask them for forgiveness, and how many of them had gone and asked another. And not surprisingly, not one hand went up. You have to ask. Now, if you think of anybody you have an issue with, it's not too late. It's never too late. It's not enough to give the generic, if I did anything, forgive me. Seek out those your heart tells you to, and if they don't want to act upon it, well, that's their choice. But you've done what the Holy Day is about and what is intended in forgiveness. Now, so many people who never go to synagogue during the year go during the high holy days. Have you ever seen a busier temple? Do you need tickets at any other time of the year? Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, that's it. But they're not celebratory. They're solemn occasions. They're not the best example of when people who never go. Instead, people should go and should get exposure on 3 or 4 other days, like Sukkot, a time of sharing, of feasting, of celebrating. Simchas Torah, a day of dancing and fun. Purim, a day of partying, drinking, study. Passover, a day to celebrate the freedom of your life and the choice of direction. These are the joyous celebratory days. These would make anybody think, what a great religion. So I encourage you all, never mind that you went during the holidays, try going one of those other days. You'll get a different feel for it. Now, as the solemn days of awe ended, you did actually enter a celebratory time. You went right into another holiday, and here we are in the whole hamo'ed, the intermediate days of that holiday, Sukkot, one of the 3 gathering festivals called for in the Bible. We're going to be in that until, pretty well just about the end of next week. Now, the other day, in between the 2 holidays, because you got like 2 days or 3 days in between Yom Kippur and when, Sukkot begins. And in between, I went and I saw a dear old friend of mine. So this week I'm dedicating this to him. My dear friend, Senor Martin. Now, he spent the better part of the last 2 months knocking on heaven's door. But again, there was no room at the inn for him. So he is back in the book of life. Martin, you ain't going nowhere. Clouds are swift, rain won't lift, gate won't close, railings froze. Get your mind off of winter time. You ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere, my friend. It was a tough way to spend the high holy days. So many things going on at such a pivotal time in people's lives. Now, of course, between the natural and man-made disasters at the end of the year, we saw the death of a great musical legend. Goodbye, Tom Petty. Too soon to have shuffled off this mortal coil. Somewhere, somehow, somebody must have kicked you a ransom. Who knows, maybe you were kidnapped, tied up, taken away and held for ransom. Listen, it don't really matter to me, baby. Everybody's had to fight to be free. You see, you don't have to live like a refugee. Don't have to live like a refugee. Friends, in an interview, he reflected on his fame and where he had come from. And he said, probably the greatest achievement you can reach is when you're able to forgive the most heinous things in your life. I forgive anyone. That's where I've arrived. And if I'm not successful at that, I forgive myself. He had achieved the greatest biblical lesson, and the one we can all still achieve. It does not have to have been done last week or wait a year. Learning to forgive can be done at any time during the year. It is the great saving grace. If you find it in your heart, can I be forgiven? And we just had that holy day of forgiveness. Guess I owe you some kind of apology. I've escaped death so many times. I know I'm only living by the saving grace that's over me. Now we know when we get a taste of holy truth, all sense of separateness, alienation, fear, and desire, it ends. We feel our unity with the one and we realize that it has never been otherwise. Faith gives us an unshakable confidence in the inherent goodness of life and of the universe. We just saw worldwide community come together to envelop itself in compassion and love and forgiveness. So once again, let's all come together as a community, a chavura, fellowship, as we do every week, my friends, and join together to express our nature of kindness, compassion, forgiveness, thoughts and feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes that unites us all. Community, house of spirit, Beth Ruach, house of spirit. So once again, please do go ahead and invite everybody you know, physically, psychically, emotionally, or spiritually, to gather and share from Psalm 133, the Hine Matov, coming together. Hine Matov. Shetahim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov. Shetahim Gam Yachad. How good, how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community. 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 Together. It's always together, my friends. And as we gather, let us also send out healing, love, forgiveness to everybody you forgot to include last week and for everybody you forgot to ask. It does bring renewal. So let's send out renewal to everybody, to the victims of Harvey, of Irma, of Maria, of the Mexican earthquake, and of the sad, sick individual in Las Vegas who has changed the way we look at the world forever. For the 59 dead and almost 500 wounded. For all who need renewal. For Martin, for the Bee, for Lindsay, for Gloria, for all of you. For everybody in the world, the kindness, healing, wishes, goodwill, and love that you all send out circles the world, finding those in need. So thank you, each one of you, each and every one of you, for all you do, for all you care, because spirit, my friends, never dies. Me, Shabbat, Evotenu, Okor Chabracha, Bimotenu, may the source of strength bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing. The renewal of body, the renewal of spirit. Let us say, Amen. Misha Barak, let us all have our spirits renewed the world over, my friends. And we're supposed to get renewal during this Feast of Booths, or more commonly referred to as the Feast of the Tabernacle, Sukkot. It is a 3,300-year-old holiday. Now, during it, you've greeted your friends with a very famous phrase, Chag Sameach, which means joyous or happy festival. And yes, it's also said during Shavuot, the Festival of Weeks, and during Passover, the Festival of Freedom. And you know what, friends? It should not require a holiday to say. You should be able to say, have a joyous festival all the time to your friends. And this holiday is about welcoming guests into our homes, our booths. As the great poet Khalil Gibran said, if it were not for guests, all houses would be graves. We are all contributing to the world through the personal characteristics we have acquired by way of guests. Loving kindness, strength, splendor, glory, holiness, eternity, sovereignty. We were homeless wanderers, and we learned to inculcate these characteristics in our lives from all of the places we went and all the people that we have met. Now, on each day of the holiday, of course, it's mandatory to perform a waving ceremony with the 4 species, the Arba Minim, consisting of the palm, the myrtle, and the willow, which make the lulav, together with a citron, etrog. Now, I will remind you they represent the characteristics of man. I don't actually have them with me, unfortunately. The etrog, which has both a pleasing taste and a pleasant scent, although we view it just as being a lemon. It represents people who have achieved knowledge of spiritual law and perform good deeds, or mitzvot. Now, the palm branch, which can produce tasty fruit but has no scent, represents those who have knowledge of the law but lack in performance. That's really too bad. That's almost one of the worst things. Now, the myrtle leaf, which has a strong scent but no taste, represents those who perform good deeds but actually have very little knowledge of spiritual laws. That's pretty good. The willow has neither taste nor scent and represents those who have no knowledge of spiritual law and basically perform no good. Well, no good is really a little strong term. They just don't perform much good. Your goal, of course, is to be an etrog. But if you cannot be governed by spiritual law and the power to do good, then be the myrtle. Regardless of your level of spiritual knowledge, open your heart and do good. You can always learn the law later. Now, we bring all four of these types together to remind us that every one of these people is important and that we must all be united. And that's why we hold them all together when we shake them in all of the directions. So you do that blessing. You shake the species each day for 7 days, and the holiday ends with Simchas Torah. Now, it's the celebration of instruction, which marks the circular world of spiritual study. It is the end and the beginning, because we read the final blessing of Moses to close Deuteronomy, and we go back to the beginning of Genesis. And next week we begin the Torah all over again. When I get to the bottom, I go back to the top of the slide, where I stop and I turn and I go for a ride, till I get to the bottom and I see you again. Yeah, yeah, yeah. When you leave your booth next week, my friends, we start again. All the time. We always do this every year. We end and we begin. We end and we begin. And we do it all on the same day. But we do so with the knowledge of what's coming. We can have a finer sense of what's happening in each biblical episode, starting with creation, if we read it with consciousness of what's coming. It's different than a movie. You don't want to see a movie that you already know the ending to, but you love to study the Torah because you know what's coming. The Sabbath is set in the very structure of the universe. But for most readers, the Sabbath draws its significance not only from it being a feature of creation, but from the reader's knowledge that it is to be the prime commandment later. In fact, it is one of the 10 commandments often considered the most important. And it will be identified as the sign of the relationship between God and the Israelites. Now, how do you read about the seventh day in Genesis without thinking about what the Sabbath comes to mean later on? The Torah in Genesis opens with an explosive depiction of divine powers, but over time it segues to divine hiddenness by the end of Deuteronomy. And in Ezra, Nehemiah, and Esther, there's no mention of God whatsoever. And as the face of God becomes more hidden through the course of the narrative, humans grow and must take even more responsibility for their world. When we know what's coming, we begin to look at things completely differently. We can have a richer appreciation of the story of Cain and Abel if we know that fratricide will become a recurring theme. Jacob and Esau, Joseph and his brothers, Solomon's executing his brother Adonijah and thereby establishing the stability of the Davidic line on the throne of Israel. It's no longer just a tale of Cain's fate. Instead, it is the introduction and the first installment of what becomes the biblical treatment of the envies, affections, and rivalries of siblings. And that's still going on to this day. Now, we can also have a better understanding of humankind's loss of the tree of life as the price of gaining knowledge, good and bad. If we know that life and death and good and bad will become the crucial themes in Moses' last speech in Deuteronomy, we don't fully realize that the Garden of Eden and the tree of life are not destroyed in Genesis. They are simply rendered inaccessible, and we grow in our search to be able to return to them. The cherubim, the cherubs that guard the path back to the tree of life, this too can be understood better if one knows what's coming. Golden cherubs will spread their wings over the ark and its contents inside the temple. The cherubim keep watch over the path to the tree of life, and their images symbolically keep watch over the keys to the path back, the covenant, the Torah, knowledge, wisdom. It is a cycle unlike any other. At the beginning of the Torah, the tree of life is lost, and death becomes the fate of all humans. As the Torah ends, the death of Moses is brought to us. At the beginning, Cain worries that I'll be hidden from your presence, literally your face, he says to God. And now God tells Moses, let me hide my face from them. I'll see what their future will be. In Genesis, God promises a land to Abraham for his descendants, and now God points to Moses the land that God has promised. Friends, the Torah involves a looking forward and a looking back, a linking of past and future. It's a strange concept of time because it is linear and cyclical at the same time, historical and timeless at the same time. It's the first known work of history that tells a record of events through a progression of time on a line, going from A to B. Now, we read that record in a cyclical manner. We don't just read it as a time thing, always returning to the beginning. And so returning becomes one of the central concepts of Judaism, as does understanding how sacred everything actually is. Yes, my friends, the world is sacred. So is everything in it. Express your gratitude, light a candle, make a wish, celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free, be free, honor your freedom, be happy, be blessed. Tell the people that you love them. Share and honor the light and all who live in the light. Everybody needs to be honored. Continue to send everybody goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everyone. An end to terror and hatred, my friends. Remember, we are a community. We learn together, we celebrate each other, we love each other. We share this ride together, men and women equally. Let's send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, good healing to all who need it. And please do learn to love and learn to forgive. Open your hearts. Honor the relationships of your life. Take advantage of the time you have. Enjoy your journey. We take the twists and turns and the patterns that weave through the fabric of our lives in our effort to grow, to learn to be to love. So please do love. Now, bless you all. Have a fantastic week, a week of love and light, a week of peace. Examine your intentions. Use them to imprint your will on the universe. Remember, we do set in motion all that happens in our lives. Our intention, our kavanah, our cause and effect, everything is linked. As I said, you always have time to forgive and to be forgiven. You have the knowledge of what's good and bad. So acknowledge what you've done wrong. To yourself, to God, to any person you've wronged, ask forgiveness. And do so with sincerity, accountability, and vulnerability. Now continue to forgive those who've hurt you as you learn to be more forgiving and more compassionate. And do not stop your journey. Do not stop moving towards your promised land. Keep on dreaming. Keep on being, keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching, keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear. Follow love. It's always in front of you. And remember to have faith and unwavering adherence to principle, just as I have faith in the principle of love and of all of you. Act with purity of heart and mind. Despise none, defraud none, hate none. Cherish all. Honor every child of God, every creature of the earth. May all people know peace in this year. And may you nurture kindness and love everywhere you go. Work to be present in the body, my friends. Expand your heart, quiet your mind, because the deepest source of real power lies in your consciousness, your mindfulness, and the ability to be mindful, aware, to be present in all circumstances. Now, we stay with our real experience of ourselves and our situation will teach us exactly what we need to know for growth. We need to keep open to the very inner qualities and resources that help us grow. Now, make the most of your time in this life. Recognize your ability to be a contagion of holiness, to touch and transform the lives around you, because you are forever blessed and have the ability to bring blessings to everybody you meet. Health, love, renewal to everybody you come across. Where energy and energy cannot be destroyed, it can only be transformed. Your words have the power to transform, my friends, to love, to be generous, bless others and bless yourself, and love with the heart. We are all part of a much greater whole. Embrace love, not fear. Forgiveness, not anger. It's a great lesson of life. Be there for someone because someone's always going to be there for you whether you know it or not. Time is all you have, and time is precious. Precious time is slipping away, but you're only king for a day. It doesn't matter to which God you pray. Precious time is slipping away. The world is cruel, twists and turns. Well, the fire's still in me and the passion burns. Love a medley till the day I die, till hell freezes over and the rivers run dry. Be happy, my friends. Be helpful, be kind, be loving, and make sure that you join us as we go back to the beginning next week. Shabbat Shalom and blessings to you all. Take care.